gotta pray.
These voices made you fall in love for the first time.
I like to find what I'm dreaming of.
Made you slow dance at a house party when you had no business slow dancing with that person. Made you cry in your car at 2 a.m. and not even feel embarrassed about it. You know every word to their songs, but you don't know what was happening when the music stopped. Secret lovers the public never met, children they never claimed, homes sitting abandoned right now with their gold records still on the walls, and bank accounts that tell a story their greatest hits never could. Some of these legends died with more money than they could spend. Others couldn't afford their own funerals. By the time we get to number one, you're going to hear a name you thought you knew everything about and realize you didn't know the half of it. Number 12, James Ingram.
Never changes. We're back to being strange.
James Ingram had a voice that could make a stone weep.
What are we doing wrong?
Just once, Baby Come to Me, somewhere out there. You know the songs, but here's what you probably didn't know. James Ingram co-wrote one of Michael Jackson's biggest hits.
I gave my all, but I think
PYT, Pretty Young Thing. That was James Ingram and Quincy Jones in that studio, putting together a song that would outlive them both. And here's the thing about James.
that's for long. Where are we going wrong?
In an industry full of mess and scandal, he did something almost unheard of.
Why can't we get up?
He married his high school sweetheart, Deborah, in 1975. And they stayed married for 44 years. 6 children, no drama, no headlines. But that quiet life came with a price nobody talks about. James Ingram battled brain cancer in silence. The man who gave us some of the most beautiful love songs ever recorded didn't want anyone's sympathy.
Could just get to it. I know we could break.
He kept singing, kept writing, kept showing up.
Why the good times never last.
When he died in January 2019, he left behind an estate worth $20 million. Not bad for a kid from Akron, Ohio, who learned to play piano in church.
I know we could break through if we.
But money doesn't tell you who somebody really was. And James Ingram, he was proof that you can make it in this industry without losing yourself. Number 11, Gerald Levert.
Don't amount to much. It's what I really want.
If your father is Eddie Levert of the OJs, you've got 2 choices. Run from that legacy or try to carry it.
But that wouldn't be enough. But I'd give it.
Gerald Levert didn't just carry it. He built his own. Levert. LSG with Keith Sweat and Johnny Gill. Solo albums that went platinum. Casanova. My Body. Songs that had people naming babies after this man. But here's what most people don't talk about. Gerald never married. He had 3 children with different women. And at 40 years old, he was fighting a battle nobody could see. Shoulder surgery, a torn Achilles, pain that wouldn't stop. And in November 2006, Gerald took what his doctors gave him, Vicodin, Percocet, Xanax, and it stopped his heart. The coroner said it was an accident, a fatal combination of prescription drugs that any of us might have taken without thinking twice. He left behind a net worth of $5 million. 3 kids who would have to grow up without hearing that voice in person. and a father, Eddie Levert, who would have to bury a second son less than 2 years later. When Sean Levert died in jail, the Levert family gave us everything, and this industry took just as much back.
That I'd care to talk about.
Real talk. Only 9% of you watching this are actually subscribed. That hurts a little, not gonna lie. We spend hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life because this music deserves to be remembered. And you're here because you care about that too. So if these videos mean something to you, if you've ever said, damn, I didn't know that, or felt something while watching, just hit subscribe. It's free, takes 2 seconds, and it tells YouTube to show this to more people who love this music like we do. Let's build this together. All right, back to the story. Number 10, Al Green.
You make me feel.
In October 1974, Al Green was untouchable.
Loving you forever. Yeah. No.
Let's stay together. I'm still in love with you. Tired of being alone. The man was selling out arenas and breaking hearts from Memphis to Manhattan. And then Mary Woodson walked into his life.
Good or bad, happy or sad. Hey.
Here's what they don't tell you. Mary was already married with 4 children when she started seeing Al. He didn't know. And when he wouldn't marry her, she snapped.
Never do that to me.
One night, while Al was in the bathroom getting ready for bed, Mary walked in with a pot of boiling grits and threw it on his back. 2nd and 3rd degree burns across his body.
Stay together. No.
And then she went into his bedroom and shot herself with his own gun. Al Green survived, barely. But the man who walked out of that hospital wasn't the same man who went in.
Since we've been together. Ooh.
He bought a church, got ordained as a pastor, and started preaching instead of performing. And here's what's wild. He married 3 years later, had 3 daughters, but his ex-wife Shirley later testified that Al beat her during the marriage. The man who sang about love allegedly couldn't stop the violence. Today, Al Green is worth $25 million. He still preaches at his church in Memphis every Sunday. But that pot of grits, that's the moment that split his life in 2.
Why people break up.
Number 9, Rick James.
You got hung up the night that we made love. And
Super freak. That's what you think of when you hear Rick James. That bass line, that energy, that braids and leather aesthetic that nobody else could pull off. But here's the part that got cut from the highlight reel.
you are the one I didn't want to waste. Just like a baby.
Rick James spent $7,000 a week on cocaine for years. He once said freebasing for the first time was like rockets going off in his brain. And once those rockets launched, he couldn't bring them back down. In 1993, he went to prison for kidnapping and torturing 2 different women during cocaine binges. 3 years at Folsom State Prison. The man who gave us Give It To Me Baby became inmate number whatever. He had 4 children, 2 marriages, a mansion that used to belong to William Randolph Hearst. And when he died in 2004, his estate was worth $250,000. That's it. A man who once made $20 million died in a modest apartment in Burbank with 9 different drugs in his system. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. His daughter Ty took over his estate, and in 2020 she sold half his music catalog for what some estimate was over $100 million.
Sure, you are the twinkle turned into a star.
Rick James made more money dead than he ever did alive. That's either the greatest comeback story or the saddest.
You heard me right, Rick Slick. You heard me right.
Number 8, Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was supposed to be the king. Don't be cruel. Every little step. The man left New Edition and became bigger than the group he abandoned. Married Whitney Houston, had it all, and then lost it in ways that don't seem possible.
You're the kind that's never satisfied.
Whitney died in 2012, drowned in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton, cocaine in her system, heart disease, a voice that could shake heaven, silenced at 48. 3 years later, his daughter Bobby Christina was found face down in her own bathtub. Same circumstances, same heartbreak, 22 years old. And if you think that's where the tragedy ends, you're wrong. In 2020, Bobby Brown Jr., his son from another relationship, died from an accidental overdose at 28. Bobby Brown buried his ex-wife, his daughter, and his son in less than 10 years. Here's the thing about Whitney's will. Bobby was supposed to inherit, but they divorced in 2007. That one signature removed him from everything.
Love that had never been found. You gave me your heart, I gave you my mind, but a true love.
Her estate went to Bobby Christina, and when Bobby Christina died without children or a will, it went to Whitney's mother and brothers.
You could have the finer things in life.
Bobby Brown's net worth today? $2 million. Whitney's estate is now worth over $100 million. The man lost everything except the memories. Number 7, Johnny Gill. For decades, Johnny Gill couldn't escape the rumors. Eddie Murphy, gay clubs, secret relationships. The internet had him married to everyone except a woman, and Johnny just kept quiet for years. Let people say whatever they wanted while he raised his son Isaiah and kept making music.
So proud to share your love.
Then he finally addressed it on TV One's Unsung. Whether it's being called gay, accused of being a thief, it doesn't feel good. But in some strange way, I learned something. We used to sit around making gay jokes, and I realized that's not cool. He even took a lie detector test, not because he owed anyone proof, because he wanted his girlfriend at the time to never doubt him. Johnny Gill never married, has one son, never confirmed or denied anything about his personal life beyond what he chose to share. And his net worth, depending on who you ask, somewhere between $1.5 million and $15 million. The numbers change based on the source, but here's what doesn't change.
Step in our bedroom.
Johnny Gill replaced Bobby Brown in New Edition and became just as essential to the group's sound. My, rub you the right way. Can you stand the rain? The man sang about women his entire career, and the only thing the public wanted to talk about was who he might have loved in private.
All you got to do, all you got to do.
Sometimes the real scandal is how we treat people just for existing. Number 6, Teddy Pendergrass.
Fine, things ain't right. I'm losing again.
In 1982, Teddy Pendergrass was the sexiest man in R&B, 5 platinum albums, women-only concerts where security had to hold back the crowds.
'Cause to lose all thoughts sense of time.
He was called the Black Elvis for a reason. And then March 18th happened. Teddy was driving his Rolls Royce in Philadelphia when he hit a guardrail and then a tree. The crash paralyzed him from the chest down. He was 31 years old, but here's the part that haunted him for the rest of his life. And there was a passenger in that car. And when people found out who it was, everything changed. The passenger was a transgender woman named Tanika Watson. This was 1982, Reagan's America. And suddenly, the sexiest man in R&B had questions following him that he couldn't escape.
This time I'm gonna win.
Teddy never confirmed his sexuality. He married Joan Williams in 2008 and stayed with her until he died in 2010. But when he passed, his estate was worth almost nothing.
Oh, baby.
After selling millions of albums, after being on top of the world, Teddy Pendergrass died with roughly $100,000 to his name. His family lost his house to foreclosure. His widow and his son spent nearly a decade fighting over what little was left. The man who sang "Turn Off the Lights" couldn't keep his own on. Number 5, Marvin Gaye.
Mass shooting
To bring some loving here today.
On April 1st, 1984, one day before his 45th birthday, Marvin Gaye was shot and killed by his own father. Let that sit for a second.
Talk to me so you can see.
The man who gave us what's going on. Sexual healing. Let's get it on. Shot twice in the chest by the man who raised him, with a gun that Marvin himself had given his father as a gift. And you know what Marvin's brother said he whispered right before he died? I got what I wanted. I couldn't do it myself, so I made him do it.
Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on.
Marvin's sister believed he orchestrated his own death, that he pushed his father to the breaking point on purpose.
You know we've got to find a way.
His father, Marvin Gaye Sr., was a preacher who beat his children regularly, who resented his son's success, who allegedly said, when asked if he loved Marvin, "Let's say I didn't dislike him." He got 6 years probation, not prison, probation in Marvin's estate.
We don't need to escalate.
At the time of his death, he was $9 million in debt. No will. The IRS took everything for years. His children, Marvin III, Nona, and Frankie, had to fight for decades to see any money.
You can see what's going on.
Today, his estate is worth millions, but Marvin never saw any of it. The Prince of Motown died broke, heartbroken, and shot by his own blood.
For only love can conquer hate.
Number 4, Sam Cooke.
It's been a long
December 11, 1964, the Hacienda Motel in South Central Los Angeles. Sam Cooke, the king of soul, checked in with a woman named Eliza Boyer.
It's been a long.
Less than an hour later, he was dead, shot by the motel manager, Bertha Franklin.
My brother.
The official story? Sam attacked Boyer in his room. She escaped with most of his clothes. He chased after her in just a jacket and one shoe, burst into the manager's office looking for her, and got shot in self-defense.
Carry on. It's been a long.
The courts ruled it justifiable homicide. Case closed, but Sam's friends never believed it. Muhammad Ali said if Sam had been Frank Sinatra, the FBI would have investigated. Etta James saw his body before the funeral and said his injuries were way worse than a single struggle could explain. Here's what we do know. Sam was 33 years old. He had 3 children with his wife Barbara, plus at least 3 more outside the marriage.
But I know
his son Vincent had drowned in the family swimming pool just a year earlier, and Sam died without a will. His estate was worth about $2 million at the time, $17 million in today's dollars. By 2015, it had grown to $100 million. But his family spent decades fighting over it while his manager, Alan Klein, controlled everything.
change gonna come.
A Change Is Gonna Come was released after his death. It became an anthem for the civil rights movement. Sam Cooke changed the world, and we still don't know exactly how he left it. Number 3, Whitney Houston. Here's what nobody tells you about Whitney Houston. When she died in 2012, she wasn't worth $200 million. She wasn't worth $50 million. She was $20 million in debt. The greatest voice of her generation, the woman who had 7 consecutive #1 hits, was asking her mentor, Clive Davis, for handouts just to get by. How does that happen? Bobby Brown, drugs, record deals that took more than they gave, a lifestyle that cost more than her comeback albums could cover. She drowned in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton, cocaine in her system, heart disease that nobody knew about, found the day before the Grammys in a hotel room by herself.
Now get with this.
Her will was written in 1993. It left everything to Bobby Christina in a trust. 10% at 21, more at 25, the rest at 30. Bobby Christina never made it to 23. Today, Whitney's estate is worth over $100 million. Biopics, makeup lines, merchandise, all the things she couldn't cash in on while she was alive. Her mother, Sissy, and her brothers control everything now. And Bobby Brown, he got about $2 million from what Bobby Christina received before she died. That's it. The greatest voice of a generation. And this is how the money landed. Number 2, Luther Vandross.
Back when I was a child.
Luther Vandross never married, never had children, never once confirmed or denied who he loved. And for his entire career, that silence followed him everywhere.
I'd love to dance with my...
In 2006, a year after Luther died, his friend Bruce Valanche told Out magazine that Luther once said, "No one knows I'm in the life."
Night when I was asleep.
His longest relationship, according to people who knew him, was with a man in Los Angeles in the late 80s. Then in 2017, Patti LaBelle confirmed it on national television.
Sometimes I'd listen outside her door.
Luther was gay. He didn't want to upset his mother. He didn't want to lose his female fans, so he stayed quiet until the day he died.
But could you send back the only man?
And you know what's heartbreaking? He died alone. A stroke in 2003 left him in a coma for 2 months. When he woke up, he couldn't speak, couldn't sing.
If I could get
The velvet voice that recorded Never Too Much and Dance with My Father, silenced.
one final dance with him,
He won 4 Grammys the year before he died, including Song of the Year for Dance with My Father, a tribute to the man who died when Luther was 8 years old.
Every night I fall asleep, and this is all I am.
His net worth at death was about $40 million. Properties in Manhattan, a Connecticut mansion, gold records on every wall, but Luther Vandross spent his entire life hiding who he loved. And that's a kind of poverty that money can't fix.
A dream that he would be gone from me.
Number 1, Tina Turner.
You come to me.
Tina Turner survived Ike Turner. If you know anything about this woman, you know that sentence could be the whole story.
And it can't be wrong.
The beatings, the control, the years of abuse that she didn't escape until she walked out with 36 cents and a gas station credit card. But here's what most people don't talk about.
Your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away.
Tina had 4 children connected to her. 2 biological sons with Ike, 2 sons she adopted from Ike's previous relationship. Her son Craig, the oldest, the one she had before she met Ike, took his own life in 2018 at 59 years old. Her son Ronnie died in 2022 at 62 from complications of cancer. Tina outlived almost everyone who should have outlived her. She moved to Switzerland, married a music executive named Erwin Bach, 16 years younger than her, and found something that looked like peace. In 2021, she sold her entire music catalog for $50 million. Her likeness, her name, everything. When she died in May 2023, her net worth was $250 million. The woman who left Ike Turner with nothing became one of the wealthiest entertainers of all time. But wealth doesn't mean wholeness. And Tina Turner spent her final years with kidney disease, intestinal cancer, and a stroke that almost killed her. She was 83 when she finally let go. And you know what she said in her documentary about saying goodbye to her fans? I had a very rough life, but I pulled through. Nobody pulled harder than Tina Turner. Nobody.